संकीर्तन प्रायैहि यज्ञै संकीर्तन प्रायैर् यजन्ति हि सुमेधसः यजन्ति हि सुमेधसः कृष्णवर्णं कृशा कृष्णं सांगोपांगास्त्रपार्षदम् यज्ञै संकीर्तन प्रायैर् यजन्ति हि सुमेधसः कृष्णवर्णं कृशा कृष्णं सांगोपांगास्त्रपार्षदम् यज्ञै संकीर्तन प्रायैर् यजन्ति हि सुमेधसः कृष्णवर्णं कृशा कृष्णं सांगोपांगास्त्रपार्षदम् यज्ञै संकीर्तन प्रायैर् यजन्ति हि सुमेधसः What word meaning? Krishna Varnam. Repeating the syllables. Krishna. Trisha. With a luster. Akrishnam. Not black. Golden. Sangha. With associates. Upanga. Servitors. Astra, weapons. Parshadam, confidential companions. Yagnaihi, by sacrifice. Sankirtana Prayaihi, consisting chiefly of congregational chanting. Yajanti, they worship. He, certainly. Sumedhasaha, intelligent persons. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Translation with repetition. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained this verse in his commentary on the Bhagavatam known as Krama Sandarbha, wherein he says that Lord Krishna also appears with a golden complexion. That Lord Krishna is Lord Chaitanya, who is worshipped by intelligent men in this age. That is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam by Gargamuni, who said that although the child Krishna was blackish, he also appears in 3 other colors: red, white, and yellow. He exhibited his white and red complexions in Satya and Treta ages, respectively. He did not exhibit the remaining color yellow, gold, until he appeared as Lord Chaitanya, who is known as Gaurahari. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that Krishna Varna means Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Krishna Varna and Krishna Chaitanya are equivalent. The name Krishna appears with both Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Krishna. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he always engages in describing Krishna and thus enjoys transcendental bliss by chanting and remembering his name and form. Lord Krishna himself appears as Lord Chaitanya to preach the highest gospel. Lord Chaitanya always chants the holy name of Krishna and describes it also. And because he is Krishna himself, whoever meets him will automatically chant the holy name of Krishna and later describe it to others. He injects one with transcendental Krishna consciousness, which merges the chanter in transcendental bliss. In all respects, therefore, he appears before everyone as Krishna, either by personality or by sound. Simply by seeing Lord Chaitanya, one at once remembers Lord Krishna. One may therefore accept him as Vishnu Tattva. In other words, Lord Chaitanya is Lord Krishna himself. Sambho Pangasya Pashuram further indicates that Lord Chaitanya is Lord Krishna. His body is always decorated with ornaments of sandalwood and with sandalwood paste. By his super excellent beauty, he subdues all the people of the age. In other descents, the Lord sometimes used weapons to defeat the demoniac. But in this age, the Lord subdues them with his all-attractive figure as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that his duty is his astra or weapon to subdue the demons. Because he is all-attractive, it is to be understood that all the demigods lived with him as his companions. His acts were uncommon and his associates wonderful. When he propagated the Sankirtana movement, he attracted many great scholars and acharyas, especially in Bengal and Orissa. Lord Chaitanya is always accompanied by his best associates like Lord Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhara, and Srivasa. Srila Jiva Goswami cites a verse from the Vedic literatures, which says that there is no necessity of performing sacrificial demonstrations or ceremonial functions. He comments that instead of engaging in such external pompous exhibitions, all people, regardless of caste, color, or creed, can assemble together and chant Hare Krishna to worship Lord Chaitanya. Krishna Varnam Krishna Krishna indicates that prominence should be given to the name of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya taught Krishna consciousness and chanted the name of Krishna. Therefore, to worship Lord Chaitanya, everyone should together chant the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. To propagate worship in churches, temples, or mosques is not possible because people have lost interest in that. But anywhere and everywhere, people can chant Hare Krishna. Just worshipping Lord Chaitanya, they can perform the highest activity and fulfill the highest religious purpose of satisfying the Supreme Lord. Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, a famous disciple of Lord Chaitanya, said, "The principle of transcendental devotional service having been lost, Sri Krishna Chaitanya has appeared in order to deliver again the process of devotion. He is so kind that he is distributing love of Krishna, and everyone should be attracted more and more to his lotus feet, as human beings are attracted to the lotus flower." Thus, MC Transcendental Bhaktivedanta Prabhu. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjanashlakya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prasharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshakarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, welcome everyone to day 9 of Kartik month festivities. So, this is a month-long festival which started on October 17th and this will continue until November 15th. So during this month, we have been discussing every day from 7:30 to 8:15 different aspects of devotional service, and prominently we are discussing 5 important aspects or 5 important limbs of devotional service. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said these are the 5 best limbs. There are 64 different limbs or different practices of devotional service. Of them, these 5 are the most prominent. And by practicing even a little of this, even one of them, one can make highest, one can achieve a highest success. And the success is that of Krishna Prema. That means this process are so unique that they awaken one's dormant love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. It is said that it's very difficult to know that there is a God. It is even more difficult to understand who that God is. It is even more further difficult to actually love God. To love God is not an ordinary thing, because we are all so much engrossed with this world and so much engrossed with our near and dear ones, our own attachments to the body, bodily necessities. The body takes so much precedence over everything else that we forget that there is anything else that exists in this world. So anything that requires for our body becomes our most important thing. For most people, the question is about what will they eat, where will they sleep. The basic necessities of life occupy them most of the time. And just to acquire those, they have to work whole day and night so that they are just satisfied with those basic things. So for most people, it is difficult to comprehend that there is something so special as loving the Supreme God. Now, what happens and why should one love God? Why should one even attempt? It is said that it is in everyone's, it's dormant in everyone, the love for Krishna. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema, Sadhya Pavunaya. In everyone's heart, there is a dormant love for the Supreme Lord. And that reason, we are all wandering in different places. We are actually in search of that, but because of ignorance, we are searching after so many mundane things. And we are lost in those mundane things. And therefore, this age of Kali Yuga is considered a fallen age. Because people have no taste, they don't want to make advancement towards spiritual perfection, towards life's perfection. They are busy or they are lazy. They are busy or lazy. Busy for material things and lazy for spiritual activities. In both ways, they are not making advancement in spiritual direction. And this is the common seen everywhere. In fact, in a discussion with Haridas Thakur is a great personality who is known as Namacharya. So, in that discussion, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Haridas Thakur, how will this yavanas and lechas be delivered? So, according to Vedic civilization, people are classified into different sections based upon their consciousness. And yavanas or mlechas are those, in the earlier times, we used to think people who are not in India and in few other parts of the world, they are yavanas or mlechas. But actually, according to Prabhupada, he talks about this in the third book, he says that those who are against the Vedic principles are actually yavanas or mlechas. They be in India or outside India. And one of the characteristics of yavanas and mlechas is that they indulge in unrestricted animal feeding. And they are against any principles of civilized life, of Vedic civilization. So how, as we can see today, more and more often, we see people behaving like animals. in all circumstances, they say that my wish is the final reason why I should make any decision. I will eat anything because I like it. I will do anything because I feel like to do it. There is no rules and regulations. It's like an animal. Animal has no self-control. It works on impulses. So does humans today, we can see, are also similarly functioning. I want to kill someone, I kill someone. I want to sleep, I will sleep. I will eat unrestrictedly, kill animals, I will unrestrictedly kill and eat. So it's a very degraded state of consciousness. So although it is, the humans are looking like big, two-legged animals, actually in real, humans are no different than animals because the behavior, the consciousness is like that of an animal. So in this condition, what is the hope? How will they make advancement? How will they come up with these deep-rooted conditioning? It is actually a real question. How can we transform the world? There are enough number of people who are discussing the problems of the world, the war, the different kinds of politics, the different kinds of issues in the world, but none of them have a real solution. So what is the way out? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking Haridas Thakur, what is the way out? And there Haridas Thakur says that even a slight tinge of chanting the holy name of the Lord, by that what he means is that even if they unknowingly say, so there he gives various examples, we will not take all of those examples, but he gives two examples. One, that of Ha Rama. So there are a certain section of people, they don't say Rama, but they say Harama. So it means abominable or condemned. But Haridas Thakur says that just because Ha Rama is like O Rama, so they're not meaning it that and they're not saying that, but yet Haridas Thakur says simply by uttering even that they get benefit. The holy name of the Lord is so potent, that even if chanted in this way, one gets benefit. And Prabhupada explains that just like a child is going to touch fire, a child may not know anything about fire, but yet the fire burns the child. Similarly, the holy name of the Lord is so potent that anyone who touches it will be, one will be purified chanting the holy name of the Lord. But then one question may arise, how is it I am not getting purified? The example is given that of dry grass, wet grass, and grass that is not so dry or wet. So something which is very, very wet, even if you try to ignite, it doesn't ignite immediately till the wetness doesn't go away. But if there is a dry wood or dry grass, it immediately catches fire with a spark. Similarly, we must recognize how dull is our consciousness that we are not getting awakened to this wonderful process. So, therefore, Prabhupada writes that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is known as Patita Pavana Hetu. He has come to deliver the fallen souls. He takes so much anxiety. In his question, there was so much anxiety. How will these people be saved? When he's asking Haridas Thakur. What is the hope for these people? Because they don't want to listen. Just like an animal, it's very difficult to teach. You tell something, it will do something else. It doesn't listen. You see how difficult it is. Assume that a human being, you tell them, okay, drive on the right side, don't drive on the left side. They can understand. How would the animals? They don't know there's traffic light, there is something. They would just do whatever they like. They don't bother whether people are going to hit them, or is that an obstacle to the other vehicles? No. I go my way, and that is highway. So today humans are also like that. They think whatever I do is fine. So how people can be elevated in this age? With such strong negative propensities, it's very difficult for someone to become sane. Just to become sane is so difficult. Whatever understanding the higher spiritual truths. But the potency of the holy name is such that it can purify one. Its potency, either known or unknown, it acts. It acts in such a beautiful way that anyone can get transformed. And here in this verse it is said, in this age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Intelligent persons, Sumedha. One needs great intelligence. And what is the sign? That Yajantihi Sumedha Yagnai Sankirtana Praya. So they do not indulge in other processes of purification, but they engage in this process of congregational chanting of the holy name of Lord Hari, Lord Krishna. This is a very important point, that this is the process. We must all recognize this is the process. And especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Bharat Bhumite Hoya Janma, Janma Sarthak Kari, Parapada Upakar. Especially people born in India who are advanced a little further, they should take up this responsibility of making their life perfect by following this process and helping others to follow this process. And Prabhupada has made it, in other sense, India a global place. Anyone who practices in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada must take seriously to practice this sincerely and help others. Because the idea of paropakar, or to care for others' well-being, is diminishing day after day. Everyone is interested in selfish interests, self-centric. What will I wear? What gadgets will I have? How will I live? Everything about myself. If not, my family. There is no broader consciousness. What can be done for the well-being of others? And therefore, the society is becoming more and more complex. There is no peace. There is always conflict. There is always enviousness. Because everyone is self-centered. But by practice of this process, we can grow ourselves from this lower modes, lower states of consciousness. And today, I'll just briefly talk about one example about the deliverance of a prostitute by Srila Haridas Thakur. Srila Haridas Thakur is called Namacharya, and he was born in a Mohammedan family, yet Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, again this is very important, the purport Prabhupada mentions that this process is not for any caste, creed, it is not to deal with any specific designation of people, it's open for everyone. He said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has opened the storehouse of love for everyone, irrespective of any background, any caste, creed, nationality, religion, no distinction. This is very special moment. Like, we were looking for a house recently, and there are so many rules and regulations in order to go to that house or to buy that house. There's so much of checking. But here you see, there's no check. Anyone can come and take benefit. Such wonderful process. He says people don't even allow anyone to come into their house. But here is a process which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is freely distributing. And so, Srila Haridas Thakur used to chant 3 lakhs holy name every day. He used to constantly chant for about maybe 22 hours every day. He has no other business except chanting Hare Krishna. So, because he was so spiritually elevated that one of the landlord named Ramchandra Khan became envious of Haridas Thakur. And he was also an atheist and unable to see the respect that people were offering to Haridas Thakur, he became very disturbed. He thought, I should do something so that I can discredit the holiness or the greatness of Haridas Thakur. So he devised a plan. So he went to a local prostitute and he said to her, there is a mendicant named Haridas Thakur. All of you devise a way to deviate him from his vows of austerity. So, actually, in fact, he went to a place where there are a group of prostitutes, and there he says that please plan so that you can disturb this person, this devotee Haridas Thakur, from his austerity. So, my constable will, then Haridas Thakur says that he will also provide further support, and then he chooses one attractive young girl, and then she says that I shall attract the mind of Haridas Thakur within 3 days. So this is the prostitute. Now one of them, she comes forward and she says, okay, I'll do something and I'll disturb his mind and I'll draw his mind towards me in 3 days' time. So then Ramchandra Khan says, my constable will go with you so that as soon as he sees you with Haridas Thakur, immediately he will arrest him and bring forth both of you to me. So the Ramchandra Khan was so greedy that he wants to take the benefits, he wants to have a constable, he will catch both of them together and bring them out and create a situation where people will come to know that so and so thing has happened. But the prostitute replied, first let me have union with him once, then the second time I shall take your constable with me to arrest him. So prostitute seems a little more practical. She said, okay, let me do the step 1 and then let's see what happens step 2. But then in the night, the prostitute dresses herself very beautiful, and then she becomes, she makes herself look more attractive, and she goes to the place where Haridas Thakur is there. And Haridas Thakur was sitting in a small cottage, and they were chanting, and there was a tulsi plant, and he was chanting in front of tulsi plant, he was constantly chanting. So she went and she paid obeisances to Tulsi Maharani and Haridas Thakur, and she, exposing her body, she sat down on the floor and she started to speak words to Haridas Thakur. She said, my dear Thakura, oh great preacher, great devotee, you're so beautifully built and your youth is just beginning. Who is the woman who could control her mind after seeing you? I'm eager to be united with you. My mind is greedy for this. If I don't obtain you, I shall not be able to keep my body and soul together. Haridas Thakur replied, I shall accept you without fail, but you will have to wait until I have finished chanting my regular rounds on my beads. Until that time, please sit and listen to the chanting of the holy name. As soon as I am finished, I shall fulfill your desire. Hearing this, the prostitute remains seated there while Haridas was chanting on his beads. So this was in the night, but actually Haridas was constantly chanting throughout the whole night. And actually the prostitute fell asleep, and by the time she woke up, it was almost morning and he's still chanting. So when she saw that it was morning, the prostitute stood up and left. Coming before Ramchandra Khan, she informed him of all the news. Today, Haridas Thakur has promised to enjoy with me. Tomorrow, certainly, I will have union with him. So then again, the same thing. The next day, she goes again, usually dressed, and sits next to Haridas Thakur. And again, offering obeisances, she says, last night you were disappointed. Now, Haridas Thakur says, you are disappointed. Please excuse my offense. I shall certainly accept you. Please sit down and hear the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So again, she sat there and doing, she was just again listening to Hare Krishna Mahamantra which was chanting. And in this way, another day also passed by. The same thing happened the second day, and the third day, the same thing has happened. And now she goes the third night, trying to do the same thing. And by this time, because now simply by hearing the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, her heart got transformed. Her heart got transformed so much that she immediately falls at the feet of Haridas Thakur. She asks for forgiveness, and she says that this was planned by Ramachandra Khan, and I'm a prostitute, and I actually came to divert your attention, but simply by hearing your chanting, now I'm transformed. So this process is such that she falls at the feet of Haridas Thakur and says, please accept me as your disciple. I would like to have you as my spiritual master. And then Haridas Thakur says that distribute all of your wealth, the brahmanas, and whatever you have property, and then come back to this room, stay here forever, and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra continuously, and offer your service to Tulsi Narayan by pouring water. So, in this way, by instructing the prostrate, Haridas Thakur leaves that place and goes to another place. But it is very important that simply by hearing the holy name from a pure devotee and being sincere, one can change. The one reason why we become wet is when we engage in sense gratification. And when we commit offenses, the fire of holy name does not touch us. So we have to be careful with these two things, otherwise the potency of holy name is such that even the prostitute who says simply hearing from Haridas Thakur could transform in 3 nights. So it is possible that if we also take it sincerely and seriously, we will also be benefited by the holy name and get good. To stop here for today. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Gauranga ki jai, Sri Radha ki jai, Nandarashman Bhagavatam ki jai, Kartik Mahamahasava ki jai.
Yes. Daddy, I don't know.